everybody. I'm Debbie Ducic with GutZy Women, and that's with a Z. And we are here today. This is to do a second part in a series with these ladies right here who are with the Entrepreneur Club. And in our previous video, what we did is we gave a little bit of introduction about what Entrepreneur Club is about, how Patti and I got to know each other, and the progression of how we have used technology more and more in our businesses, and how we're helping to you who are out there watching us to get over your fear, your frustration. We're providing a safe environment for people who want to learn and really want to take action because they see what's happening on the internet and they want to be a part of that. If you own a business, if you are a fundraiser, if you have a passion, a cause that you really want to get out there, there is no better way than using online technology and Web 2.0. We have capabilities that were absolutely not available even 2 years ago, and you cannot believe what it will do to get your message out there. And if you're into making money, you cannot believe how much more money that you can make because you open up your markets. So the thing that we were talking about in the previous one a lot was podcasting, because Patti Serrano with the Entrepreneur Club is a fantastic podcaster, and I would like to interview her a little bit about the process that she went through to get that set up, and now she's training people like Laurie Grant to do that for her business. So I'm going to hand it over to Patti. Patti, how did you get started in it? I know you talked a little bit, and we hope you watched the first video, but she was really lucky. She was at the right place at the right time, and she had a guy that was very savvy about podcasting and took her under his wing, and now you're going nuts with it, right?
I am going nuts with it. In fact, I did have, some gutsy men lead the way for me, and one of them, Peter Brusso out in California, who's a marketing pretty much guru in podcasting, said, Patti, you have to parlay this whole thing about where you are in your life. You're, quote unquote older now, and why don't you do something that taps into the grandma era? And so we came up with one faithful night, the Call Your Grandma program, and it has in short weeks. This is something, Debbie, that you put on the drawing board and you map it all out and you chart it all out and you launch it out there and you work it. Call Your Grandma was a telecast. It was a webcast that who would have predicted that it would have like in one showing like 8,300 views and kids wanting to buy Call Your Grandma, T-shirts, and we've got the grandma heads, and that's not something we're talking about today. You can get, some people can get lucky on some shows. La Gringa, I teach Spanish, the easy way to learning Spanish. Who would know that La Gringa would have 12,000 viewers already, and memberships. We have a subscription base now where they can come on. I do a video cast and they learn Spanish. These aren't the ones that we're going to chart out with the people on the drawing board. I was really kind of blessed with the couples that went out of the gate really fast. But the one ingredient that I tell everybody in the Entrepreneur Club and in podcasting, video casting, and all of the above is you have to be a very consistent person. Some of the people that ask me, well, what would you suggest as a good time? What would you suggest as a good format for my program? Base it around you, what you can talk about. Can you talk about cooking for 10 minutes? And then pick a time that will work for you, because there's no time on the internet that it's 24/7.
Right.
It's a World Wide Web. It's 24/7.
Right. And the beauty about podcasting is that it is recorded, and people can go in, if they weren't there for the live show, go in and put it on their MP3 players, put it on their computers, and listen to it at their convenience. That's which right. is one of the biggest selling points of podcasting and audio. Which is not only on podcasting, but teleseminars do the same things, webinars do the same thing, and it's just huge. So you know that, and so if you have an ear for something that's new, you want to try something different, the numbers are there. We've proven that the numbers are clearly there, whether it be in advertising your product or presenting your product. I mean, this really is the way to go nowadays. And so for me in the Entrepreneur Club, I was teaching, the 10. I have a manual now that's called the 10 Steps to Shoestring Marketing, basic marketing, and this is a step above this. Mm-hmm. This is what
the basic person that just opens a business, here's how to market your business. But no, you want to go to the advanced level?
Right.
The advanced level now is podcasting, video casting. The business section in our local newspaper just wrote an article last week on the front page of the business section. Online video and production. If you don't get into that, you're really missing the boat. And so here's the newspapers saying, and they want that revenue dollars too. Don't get me wrong, but they're putting this on the front page of their business section. That's saying something.
Yeah,
so if you can hear what I'm saying, it's just listen to the new era and see if it might be something you like.
All right. Now, you actually have been using TalkShoe, which is, tell us what TalkShoe is and why it's so simple to get started with them.
Beautiful question, Debbie. The thing with podcasting, and if you don't know what that means, I didn't when I was asked to be on a show. I go, what is a podcast? Mm-hmm. They said, these little iPods? Oh, yeah, I think so. Okay, that's where it came from. But now we have MP3 players, and you can download stuff. Well, there's companies, Debbie, out there that are forming now that have huge broadband. You can go on and sign up for their services and podcast your product or service or all of the above. So this is what TalkShoe is. Now there's a host of them. I just happened to end up with TalkShoe. It's very user friendly. I have nothing to do with it. I have no monetary commitment to it, but it is a great hosting service for your podcast.
Mm-hmm. And they provide all the software, the directions, everything, and then you provide the value added so that you take Laurie, who's new at podcasting, by the hand, and these are the steps, right?
That's right.
Okay, so let's ask Laurie about that. Laurie, now tell us about how you got started with Patti first.
Well, I got started with Patti by the Entrepreneur Club, of course. I joined the Entrepreneur Club and I joined forces with Patti. So speaking of being at the right place at the right time, meeting the right person, this is it. And she said I should be doing a podcast. And I said, why? And she said it would boost your business. And what do you know most about? Well, I've been doing healthcare, and I have a health business for over 30 years. So I started with a podcast called Prescriptions for Health. And it's easy. I just sit there and talk.
But did you have that fear? Did you have that fear in the beginning?
No.
Was it hard for you? Because you're a gutsy lady, right?
I'm a gutsy woman. Yeah, I'm a gutsy lady.
Is she being truthful?
Well, we did have her on these shows, like you said, interviewing people. I invited people to come on my shows. I have a business show. We have Business 101 show with Rob White. And so having guests, so you've been on my show, many times.
Many times.
As a guest, then it kind of says, well, what is this? Because remember, that's what Rob did to me. He invited me as a guest on his show, and I went, well, what is this? So a nice way to introduce people, like you said, is have them on as a guest, and this is what Laurie did.
So I interviewed Patti. She was my first guest, and it was easy. She showed me how to set up the podcast, and we were on that same night, and voila, I interviewed Patti, and there it was. I did my first podcast.
And so now how many podcasts do you have up now?
I now have 3.
All right. And what have you found? Have you found that you're getting emails or comments or anything like that from people that you've never met before?
Mainly, people are downloading them, like you were saying.
Okay.
I keep my podcast to 15 minutes, and they download it at their convenience. And yes, I do get comments, and people come to me for actual business. They ask me questions, and then they come to me for consultations.
Great. Well, that's it for this part of the video. Next, we're going to be talking about, okay, what's the next step after podcasting? So please come back and join us for that. Thank you very much for coming. If you have any questions, either for Entrepreneur Club or GutZy Women, you can go to GutZyWomen.com, and all of the information for finding me is on there with my phone number and my email address. And same, Patti, where would they go to find you guys?
eClub Networking is probably the easiest thing to remember. eClub Networking, just how it's spelled, .com.
eclubnetworking.com. Please come join us. Because of the beauty of Web 2.0, you can join our networking groups online, and you can give us a call. Talk to you later. Come see us next time. Bye-bye.